ScrappingClearly fans, it is Melinda Sweetman here with you again today. Firstly, before I say anything else, I'm going to apologise for my croaky voice. I have picked up a bit of a cold and I'm sounding a bit croaky. So I am indeed scrapping a Christmas photo, and it is June just. It's almost July, so we can almost call it Christmas in July. Sorry, you'll have to excuse my idiotic sense of humour tonight. I'm in a strange mood. I'm blaming the cold germs. So as you saw there, my very background paper had a big heart cut out of the middle of it, which I'd used on a previous page, and I just cut the other paper to the right size to cover up the big hole in the middle of the page. I started this page with every intention of not doing mixed media, and for whatever reason I decided that I needed to do some mixed media. So out comes the white gesso. I wanted to fade out around the edges. Not that this is a very overpowering pattern or anything, I just wanted that kind of faded out look near the edges. So I'm just applying a quick coat of gesso here, making sure that there's enough behind my photo. I don't want the mixed media to go crazy all over my page. Dried that off with my heat tool. Now I'm coming in with the packaging technique and some Color Blast color spray in Sapphire, and I'm literally smushing after I spray the color onto some packaging, I'm literally smushing it onto the page. I just want to make sure that I've got enough so it peeks out from behind the edges of my photo. If you can hear anything, it is my children. I have just asked them to be quiet because I'm doing a voiceover. Apparently they don't really understand that concept. If they get too loud, I will stop and start again. So I was just making sure that I've got enough peeking out from behind all the edges of the photo. I decided at this point it's probably a good idea to move that background paper from underneath my layout while I'm not using it. I'm going to stick my page together, and I'm going to, after it's stuck down, I'm going to stitch around the four sides with some red cotton. You'll see me come back into frame and stick a bit of paper just here, and that's just because when I've stitched it, it's moved a little bit and you could see part of the hole, but putting that white paper behind, you can't even tell. I came in with a Tim Holtz mini stencil and some bling colour paste for a bit of extra colour, bling and texture, and I'm just applying that randomly over where that colour spray is. Adding some gold splatters with my bling shimmer cube. This stuff is beautiful, love it. So I'm just adding some splatters in. And at this point I realised I had no water and nowhere to clean my brush. So I went and grabbed some water, showing you a close-up of that and my stitching. These are the layers that are going to go behind my photo. I have not cut into a single new 6x6 piece of paper or a single new 12x12 piece of paper. I've just used my scraps, including you can see the scallop border on the right hand side there, and just under my hand there's like a star border. I'm going to use both of those pieces as well. So I have super sped this up because I do muck around and move it a millimetre here and a millimetre there, and I drive myself crazy with that. So yeah, I decided to add some tissue paper behind my photo. You can see I'm just sticking all the layers together there because I know that I'm going to cut around 3 edges. The top edge is going to have the torn edge, and I really like that look. It just kind of softens it up. But yeah, I'm just going to trim around the other 3 edges here, and then you get to see me fuss around with my paper layers again. Pretty sure I fast forwarded, yeah, skipped straight past it. Some fun foam behind my photo before I attach it to all of my layers. No, got to move that again. So now I will attach it, and then I will reattach that grey star paper. Gosh, our scrapbookers are funny. It cracks me up. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's like this. It's in not, you know, it's a millimetre the wrong way. That's okay. This is where I'm going to attach the 2 border strips. Bring it back in, make sure I'm happy with the placement, trim down a couple of edges. Decide that I'm not happy with the placement of that star. Oh, I'm going to do some splatters with the sapphire. Such a pretty colour. I was getting impatient, and I did do a lot of this work while some layers were still wet, but thankfully nothing smudged too badly. So yeah, I'm just moving that star border again, and then I'm going to attach that scallop border. I really like that pop again of red on that side. And this is where I decided I'm going to do some embellishing. I don't really use very much at all. I do go through everything a couple of times. But first I decided I'm going to work on my title. When I first saw this stamp set, there is a stamp that I end up using. It's got Heart This Tradition. And it was the one that I thought immediately that I would use for my title. But then I saw the speech bubble with Hey Santa, and I toyed with that idea. But I end up going with the Heart This Tradition. It's very small and it's very simple, but it sums up this photo. I don't need to put journaling on there. It's pretty obvious that I'm sitting with Santa and I'm, you know, a 36-year-old woman. So yeah, it is something that I've been doing for as long as I can remember. I think there's a couple of years, maybe 2, that I don't have a photo with Santa, but it is something that I've done as a grown-up because I love Santa, I love Christmas, I love the magic. If you've seen any of my other December Christmas layouts, you already know that, so I'm sorry for the repeat. But I do love it. I love the magic of the season, and I love sharing that with my boys. So using some ATG and some wet glue to adhere all those layers because of all the mixed media in the background. I'm trying to add more bits, but I'm not really sure what I want to add. I think it was at this point that I decided I wanted to put something up at the top left-hand corner. I decided to go with a little bit more of the blue. And that arrow sticker that's there does not make the cut, though I do love it. I go with this one, and I think it says something about the season is here. I can't remember exactly. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. Having my photo with Santa always makes it feel a bit more like Christmas for me. And this year was a bit late. We normally go kind of early-ish December, and I didn't go until the 19th, which is really quite late for me. But that's okay. We still get our photos with Santa. Going through all the bits and pieces, and at this point I decided I needed to add a little bit of that mixed media up the top just to tie it all in together. Start with the gesso, and again just a little tiny bit, don't need much there, it's only a little area. Come in with the sapphire and the packaging, and this time I applied the colour straight to the page and then used the packaging because I didn't want it to take over and go crazy. Dried that off with my heat gun. I'm really sorry about the lighting. I noticed earlier in the video it went from like white and crisp to this really yellow. I don't really know why or what changed, because nothing changed. It's bizarre. I'll have to get my husband to have a look at it because I don't know. Just adding a few gold splatters to that area as well, adding some foam behind the little gift, getting my wet glue out because I am going to use wet glue to adhere everything down up there as well because of the mixed media, and just sticking those couple of pieces down. I can't remember if I said it already. This is the second time I'm doing this voiceover, but I do have a cold and my voice is croaky, and I do apologise if that is annoying, but I really needed to get this voiceover done. So I'm just crinkling down the corners the edges of that paper that I have sewn down, just for a bit of extra dimension, texture. Make it a little bit more messy because that's kind of more my style. Gluing, adding a little bit more glue here and there because the layers aren't quite sticking the way that I wanted them to. And I'm going to come in with my roller date stamp, my black archival ink. I stamp it there, I put it away, and then I decide I'm going to stamp it a couple more times. And once more down the bottom. My very finishing touch here is some road-based colour spray, which is a flat black colour. Do apologise, that is my kids being crazy. I'm just going around with a little bit of the black splatters just to bring some more of the black from around the edge into the page. I am going to leave you here with a close-up and some still photos. So as always, thank you ever so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate every single like, every single comment, every single watch. So thank you ever so much. I hope that you have a fantastic scrappy day, and if you're anything like me, get some of those Christmas photos scrapped while the pressure's not on. I will speak to you again very soon. I have another layout coming as always. Have a fantastic day. Bye!